Okay, let's get into this. Today we're doing a deep dive on a pretty serious bit of kit. The WolfPack 4K 30Hz 6x10 AV over IP PoE Matrix Switch. Seems like a high-end component, definitely. But what we want to figure out is, what does it really do? What makes it stand out from other options?
Right. Well, the core function is really about scale and flexibility. We're talking about sending 4K 30 hertz HDMI video and audio up to 450 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's over just a single KT6 cable. But the key part is that 6x10. It's a matrix switch,
Meaning?
meaning you've got 6 inputs, HDMI sources, and they can be routed dynamically to any one or any combination of the 10 outputs, the displays. It's that whole any-to-any idea, but for, potentially large setups.
Okay, 6x10, 4K 30. That sounds like a lot of data flying around. Usually wouldn't that need like a really beefy 10G network backbone that gets expensive fast? But the sources suggest this one gets away with standard 1G infrastructure. How does that work? Is that reliable using H.265?
Yeah, that's actually a huge point. The H.265 compression is key.
Yeah.
Normally, uncompressed or lightly compressed AV over IP, it forces you into 10G switches. Expensive fiber, maybe. But H.265 here is efficient enough that the whole system's bandwidth requirement stays under 1G.
Under 1 gig. For the whole system.
For the whole system, even if you're pushing multiple 4K 30 streams or doing those quad view layouts where you show 4 sources on one screen. So yes, it means huge cost savings. You can use standard, affordable 1G network switches. It's a major practical advantage.
That definitely lowers the barrier to entry. Less complex infrastructure. I also noticed it has separate ports mentioned, KVM, RS-232, audio. What's the practical side of those?
Good question. They've basically built this to be more than just a video router. It's intended as a central control hub. So KVM lets you plug in a keyboard and mouse at the display end and control the source computer remotely. RS-232 is for controlling older gear, like projectors, that don't use network commands.
Ah, okay. So integrating different types of control.
Exactly. And speaking of simplifying things, the transmitters, the TX units, and the receivers, the RX units, they're actually the same physical box.
Oh.
Yeah, you just flick a switch in the PC software to tell it if it's sending or receiving.
Yeah.
And it supports PoE power over Ethernet.
Right, PoE. So one network cable carries the signal and the power for the transmitter or receiver.
Precisely. Less cable clutter, easier installation. And the switching between sources is fast too, around 80 milliseconds, so it feels pretty seamless.
Okay, efficient network use, flexible control. But the thing that really jumped out at me, the feature that sounds almost, well, different, is this wireless iPad and Android tablet preview. It says real-time video preview of all the sources, like actual moving video, not just static pictures.
That's the standout user-facing feature, definitely. It's not just a thumbnail grab. Imagine you're in a control room. Maybe you have, say, 12 different sources connected, DirecTV boxes, cameras, whatever. On your tablet, wirelessly, you can see all 12 of those feeds live, moving, simultaneously.
So you see exactly what's playing on every source before you switch it to the main displays.
Exactly. You know what you're putting live. It's a massive workflow improvement in dynamic situations. And it's worth noting the source material explicitly states this feature is only at HDTV Supply.
Interesting vendor claim. Beyond that preview, configuration seems quite powerful too. It mentions an internal video wall processor.
Right. So you don't necessarily need a separate expensive video wall controller for many common layouts. You can configure video walls like a big 6x10 wall using all the outputs, or maybe a 2x2 or a 3x3 directly within the same PC software you use for everything else. It integrates it all.
Okay, let's wrap this up. So for you listening, what have we found? The WolfPack 6x10 seems to be a highly efficient way to distribute 4K 30Hz video. Key takeaways are that minimal 1G bandwidth requirement thanks to H.265 and this really unique real-time full-motion source preview on a tablet. The system comes in at $4,975 from HDTV Supply, Inc., which, when you think about avoiding that big jump to 10G networking costs for similar capacity, it starts to make a lot of sense financially.
Absolutely. And that brings us to a final thought, something for you to maybe mull over. Given that this whole system, the routing, the IP settings, KVM, even CEC control for turning displays on-off, is configured via PC software. Think about the automation possibilities, merging robust AV switching with IP networking and efficient compression like H.265. What kind of complex tasks, things that used to be really difficult or custom-coded, could become standard automated functions in managing large display systems in the near future? Where does that convergence take us?